sharing yogic pranayama and meditation, with our watchword being oxygen is to the body as peace is to the soul. Today, we will be viewing our video again for practice, and we're going to welcome back one of our esteemed panelists, and that's Dr. Anjali Grover, who is an endocrinologist at Hackensack Medical Center and a longtime Brahma Kumari practitioner. So we're going to view the video again, and we're going to open it up to take your comments and questions. And then you'll stay tuned for Crystal Zheng, who's going to show us pranayama techniques, and we'll close with a wonderful closing meditation together. So now we're going to watch the video, and we're going to welcome Dr. Anjali Grover.
With each breath we inhale, the chest and belly expand, bringing fresh oxygen into the lungs. We then exhale, the muscles relax, the air leaves the lungs carrying the carbon dioxide. We breathe through the nose, air enters through the upper airway, traveling down into the windpipe or trachea. The trachea branches to smaller air passages in the lungs, the bronchi and the bronchioles, ultimately ending in the air sacs. These air sacs in the lungs are surrounded by capillaries, very small blood vessels. At this level, oxygen leaves the air sacs into the capillaries to be carried back to the heart and oxygen out to the body. At the same time, the air sacs pick up the carbon dioxide, passing it back up through these same airways to exhale.
When we breathe effectively, we deliver the highest quality and amount of oxygen to each and every cell of the body. And then these naturally intelligent cells come together to create a state of optimal health. One effective breathing technique, which balances both the right and left side of the brain, is called alternate nostril breathing. Some of the benefits you may notice with this technique include strengthening your immune system and heart health, as well as promoting a calm and balanced state of mind. Now, how do we breathe peace? It actually starts with having the awareness that peace is our natural state of being. So as we feed our cells with oxygen, what thoughts are we feeding our mind? Our thoughts directly influence the chemistry of the brain, which then impacts each and every organ system. So when I have the awareness of peace, our stress hormone levels go down, our happy hormone levels go up, and the lungs are then able to work at their best, delivering oxygen most effectively throughout this body. So dear friends, understanding that the quality of our thoughts impacts the quality of our breath is the key to breathing peace. So let's experience this together. A being of peace. and I breathe peace. I am a being of peace, and I breathe peace. I am a being of peace. Welcome, a very sweet welcome to each of you. And it's so nice to see you all again after a few weeks, and hope that each of you and your loved ones are keeping safe, keeping healthy. I know that since the beginning of this year, since the pandemic, many of you may not have actually seen your doctors in person, but virtually through the computer. So today is kind of a fun virtual checkup for each of you. I even brought my stethoscope with me, so I will be listening very carefully to each of you. When we all met a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the importance of healthy breathing, healthy techniques, and the importance of that for the health of the body. And then we also talked about the being and how our thoughts and our feelings affect our breathing and our body, and how we can consciously nourish that energy of peace and positivity, especially now at a time that we're all going through. So today it's really about hearing from each of you, whoever feels inspired to share, from our gathering a few weeks ago. How are you breathing? How are you feeling? Have you been able to incorporate some of the breathing techniques in your day? How does it feel? And also, if any questions or comments even have come up since our last meeting together. So we'd love for you all to share, whoever feels inspired. And how we will do that is on Zoom, you can actually raise your hand. And then once we see your hand raised, we will unmute you, and we will be very happy to hear you share with thoughts or questions. So would anybody like to share? You can put your hand up. Looks like we have Carolyn. Can we unmute Carolyn?
Yes, hi.
Hi.
Hi. Well, I would like to share an experience I had last week. And I want to share it because it's kind of amusing, but also to reinforce to myself that it was a bit of a miracle, and I was very grateful for it, and not to forget that. And it has to do with breathing. I took my brother to an eye appointment, and he was very nervous about it, and it took hours and hours for this appointment. And it was a crowded office, and I was asked not to be in the office, which was great. And so I went out and I walked around, and it was a little bit north of Manhattan. There were some shops open, and I went in and I bought a bag of balloons. And I went back to the parking lot where my brother's doctor was, And I wanted to practice flute, but blowing balloons is a good lung exercise. And I have a breathing bag at home, but these balloons, so I got a sense that a good exercise for the lungs is not only to breathe in and out, but to really feel when you're full of air, to feel the pressure that it takes to maintain the lungs full of air rather than expelling it immediately. And in alternate nostril breathing, there is that point where you can have a full inhalation and then you drop your chin and hold it in a bandha, right? And that occurs also when I play the flute, because you can't let all the air out at once, otherwise you run out of air too soon and it doesn't sound good. So I was in the parking lot blowing balloons and feeling the balloon full of air and trying to hold the balloon full of air rather than letting the air out or putting more air in, but just feel the static and what it takes to hold it still, because it does take effort to hold it still. And when I came home and picked up my flute, it was an amazing difference in sound. And I also then felt that my lungs were more sensitive. And I don't know if it was actually a good thing. Could I be actually overdoing it or damaging in some way? So as a doctor, maybe you could comment on that. But also, I felt like it opened up a new reality of the sound and my sensation of my own lungs. I don't know what to make of it, really.
It's actually very beautiful that you shared, and I'm sure it was particularly extra meaningful for you, given that you're a flute player. But you know what's interesting about what you shared is we are so used to not using the full capacity of our lungs. I feel like we probably only use like a third or a half of the capacity. And so our brain and the rest of our body and cells is used to just receiving that much oxygen. But when you really take the time to fully inhale, use the full capacity of your lungs, your brain gets so much oxygen that it was probably a new feeling for you to experience that. Right? Oh, I think you're mute.
Yes, it was an unusual feeling, because even playing flute every day, I still wasn't using as much capacity as there is available. And I did feel very energized by the extra oxygen.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm curious, did you feel that the mind was also calmer? Because I know you were in a situation with your brother who was
Right.
anxious.
Actually, that's a very good point, because my brother can require a lot of patience, aside from the situation of waiting for hours. And yet I didn't feel impatient, and I didn't really make that connection. So thank you that it had to do with calming the mind. I felt very happy, actually. I felt like, oh, this has turned into a wonderful experience today. And he didn't even know it. And he was so involved with his own situation that I didn't interrupt him and tell him, oh, I had an experience. No.
Beautiful. So that connection between breathing well, right? Getting that oxygen to the brain, getting that oxygen to the body, but then your being is well, right? So your thoughts, your mind, your feeling, your energy for yourself and for others. So beautiful connection. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for pointing out that my happiness was related to that increased inhalation.
Beautiful. Thank you. Anybody else would like to share? Or any questions, or how you've incorporated this into your day-to-day life? I can't see if anybody else's hand is raised. No questions, no experiences. Well, maybe if I don't see any hands raised, maybe I can just share a little inspiration, especially, winter is coming. I know there's a lot of concern, maybe a little bit of fear, anxiety about the current situation with the pandemic. But to use this time as a call or an inspiration to really start taking care of ourselves in a very holistic way, just like Carolyn was sharing about breathing and being. And so maybe encouraging each of you to pick one thing, a promise that you're going to make to yourself when it comes to breathing, whether it's, as soon as you wake up, before you jump out of bed. I know there's a tendency for all of us to want to check our emails, check our phones, but maybe just take 2-3 minutes in the morning and 2-3 minutes at the end of the day, and just pause and just breathe. Just start with breathing and then create a positive, peaceful thought for the day, and then incorporate that into your breathing. And just see how that feels. Start with 2 minutes in the morning and 2 minutes in the evening. And maybe try that for a week or two, just like you brush your teeth, it's not negotiable. Same way with breathing and pausing. And just then kind of notice, how does the body feel? How's your energy? How's your concentration? And just how do you feel, in terms of your emotions? So I encourage each of you to try that. And of course, if you have any questions that you would like to share, in the future, we would love to hear that as well. And I know Michelle is going to transition us so that we can actually now practice this together.
Well, thank you, Dr. Anjali Grover, Sister Anjali to me. Thank you so much. And thank you, Carolyn, for sharing your practical experience as well as your beautiful music. That was very inspiring. And I want to just jump in that I've incorporated it more in my practice, and it has enhanced it. You take breathing for granted, and I don't anymore. Every morning when I meditate, I do notice every day that I now bring it in. So thank you for that. And as Dr. Grover pointed out, we are going to have 2 more sessions. So if you don't ask today, you have other opportunities to think about it and to practice and to ask questions. And now we're going to bring on Crystal Zheng, and stay after Crystal, because we're going to have a great guided meditation with Sister Sabita. But let me just introduce Crystal Zheng to you, and thank you, Dr. Grover. Thank you, Sister Anjali. Thank you so much. So now we're going to have Crystal Zheng, and Crystal is in a forest, a virtual forest, if you will, and we're going to join her in that virtual forest. She is a certified and registered Yoga Alliance registered yoga teacher and founder of Crystallized Yoga, which is a holistic wellness and transformation resource center that empowers the modern era individuals like us and businesses to transform with yogic wisdom, approach, and practice. And her teaching utilizes, as Dr. Grover mentioned, a holistic approach, which is based on you'll forgive me for mashing this, Patanjali, and she'll help me with that one, Yoga Sutra, Vedanta philosophy, and psychology to connect the body, mind, emotion, and spirit together to reach a balanced well-being and a happiness state, which is what we all look for. At Crystallized Yoga, Crystal, it's a great name, Crystal, by the way, because she's actually a diamond, but they call her Crystal. Crystal is dedicated to create an optimal environment for individual and businesses to help them overcome daily life and professional challenges and empower them at physical, emotional, and mental and spiritual levels so that they can achieve a meaningful, fulfilling, and a happy life by developing a happy physical condition and a peaceful state of mind, a transcendent spirit, and to awaken consciousness. So with that, I bring you Crystal Zen. Welcome. I think you need to unmute, Crystal.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you so much for the warm introduction, kind words, and hello everyone, Crystal. Today I'm so excited to teaching one of my most favorite pranayama. Pranayama in Sanskrit, it means the breathing techniques. Today I'm going to teach you Kapalabhati. In Sanskrit, Kapala means the skull, Bhati means the life. So translating to English, Kapalabhati means the skull shining breathing. There are so many benefits of Kapalabhati. It helps cleansing the lungs and the respiratory system, which is really critical in this period of time. It strengthens and tones the diaphragm and the abdominal muscles. It releases toxins. It increases the oxygen to cells, purifying blood in the process, as well as improves the digestion, energize and cleanse the mind, and focus attention and warms the body. So as you can see, there's a ton of really good benefit. So let's get into that. I'm going to demonstrate first, and then later on we can do this all together for a few rounds. Kapalabhati, unlike any other breathing techniques, it actually focuses on the exhale of the breath. That is why it is a really great cleansing and energizing breathing techniques. So it almost using your abdominal muscle, push the air out, and the inhale is more passive. You can place a hand on your lower belly. It sounds like this. Same thing as if you imagine there's a candle in front of you, and you're going to blow off that candle like. Instead of using your mouth, we're gonna keep the mouth closed. Exhale and inhale through both nostrils. So let's do this together. If you're sitting on the floor, you can having your legs spread out, hands placing on top of your knees. If you're sitting on the chair, just relax, place both legs on both feet on the floor, and you can place your hands on top of your knees. Erect your spine, relax your shoulders. Take a deep inhale into your lower abdomen, and you can place your hand at the lower belly. Exhale out completely. One more inhale, and begin. And exhale out completely. How does that feel? In this round, we're gonna do one more round. This round, we're gonna start at the 11th breath, very slow, about 1 second per breath. And then we're gonna speed up to another 11 times of breath. So erect the spine, relax the shoulders, take a deep inhale and place the hands at the belly. Exhale out completely. One more inhale. Begin. speed up. And exhale out. I hope you get the hang of it. So when is the best time to do Kapalabhati? The first thing in the morning when you just wake up from the long time sleep, it can just release a lot of the tiredness or the sleepiness. If you have a meditation practice, this is a great routine to do right before you get into meditation. It helps clean the mind, de-stress, really just preparing to the mode. If you do a little bit, if you feel cold at home as we come into the winter time, it actually warms up the body because it actually brings a lot of energy throughout the whole body. And also, if you're working from home or even you start going back to work in the late afternoon, instead of getting some coffee, you feel tired, you can use Kapalabhati to energize yourself. We call Kapalabhati the Yogic coffee. So I really hope this breathing techniques can benefit your life. Om Shanti, Namaste.
Crystal, thank you so much. I'm going to incorporate this in my practice. It was also fun to do. So thank you so much. I'm adding that to my meditation too. So thank you. Wow, all the jewels that we're getting today that we can add. Thank you, both of you. It's great. So now I invite Sister Sabita, she's our fearless leader, if you will, in this Peace in the Park exercise. She's our leader, and she's going to lead us in a commentary and a guided meditation. And stay till the end because we have some more announcements. Sister Sabita, Om Shanti.
Good evening, everyone, and greetings of peace. Om Shanti. It's a real pleasure to see you all here this evening as we check in on ourselves. Are we still breathing? So after we've cleared our lungs and we've cleared our stomachs of some unnecessary energy, now we're going to spend a few minutes to clear our minds from some unnecessary energy. So I'm going to guide you through a 2-minute meditation. And I would like you to, as you listen, try to go into an experience, try to feel what you are listening to, because this will become like breath for the self, for the soul. So sitting comfortably, and again, I will invite you to take in a deep breath and gently release. One more time, take a deep breath in. And as you release, let your body relax. Let all the tension in your muscles melt away. And as your breathing is deep and regular, gently remind yourself that I am a being of peace. Peace is who I am. Peace is a natural quality of the self, the life force in this body. As I dwell on this energy of peace, I can feel that light of calm, of tranquility, just emanating from my inner self. I consciously direct this light of peace and calm throughout my body, to every cell in my body, right down to my fingertips, right down to my toes, filling every part of my body with that peace. And it feels so good. I know sometimes this is not so easy, especially in midst of chaos, but with practice, I will get there. Now, holding this peaceful quality and energy, taking another deep breath and release. And now for the rest of the evening, try to stay in that peaceful state. Thank you.
Thank you, sister, so much. Beautiful. We are all peaceful now, are we not? So we are winding down this session. And I just want to thank again Sister Sabita, Crystal Zhang of Crystallized Yoga, thank you, and Dr. Angeli Grover, thank you, to our dedicated, committed committee members who meet all the time to bring this to you. We will be back, so stay tuned for other announcements. We will see you again on December 4th, where we will bring another esteemed panelist to focus on new and exciting techniques for you. And again on January 8th. So we have an exciting week this week. We need peace, so we have to especially breathe peace this week. So Om Shanti, everyone, and Namaste. Thank you.
If I may just say one thing before you leave, our Facebook live stream was giving some trouble, so we didn't get to live stream, but we will put the recording up there if anybody wants to go back and check out the breathing technique, or if you want to invite your friends.
And I also want to thank, most important, our Supreme Soul, the Supreme Being, without whom nothing would be possible, and especially our peace. So to all of you and our audience, thank you for joining us.